As a Canon R6 Mark II shooter, I just absolutely love that camera. But ultimately, what makes a camera awesome, besides the person behind it, of course, you, me, is the lens. And there is a special lens that just hit that 2023 best of the best that I want to share with you. So today we're going to be going outside. We're going to be taking some photos downtown Green Bay. And if you're new to this channel, that's Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm sure there's other Green Bays out there. But we're going to be going downtown and showing off this lens. So yeah, let's get to it. So we are near downtown Green Bay right here. So we've got the historic Meyer Theater and the Magic lens that I've been loving for the last, I don't know, 7 months, 6-7 months, has been the 70-200 f4. This thing is so light and it could almost work as a walk around camera lens. Obviously, the lowest is 70 and then 200, but it is so small and light. What we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take a few images down here. We're gonna kind of go around Green Bay, get a few shots. If I wanted to, because of the sun, we could put on the hood, which is quite large. This thing does now make it look really big, but right now I'm not shooting into the sun, so I really don't need it. And I'm not obvious to anybody walking around. So we're just gonna take a few shots here. And if you're wondering, this bag is from Think Tank. I did a review on it several months back. Magnetic top, holds this lens and the camera and the hood and accessories in there as well. It is super light. I'm not a big fan of using any kind of neck strap at all. I just like having this, and then I'm able to put it into the bag pretty quickly. I'll leave a link below for this, but let's get a few shots here. It is a pretty sharp lens. I'm super impressed by the f4 on it. I know the 2.8 is going to be larger and more wide open for night shots, but I have found even night shots with this f4 is still pretty sharp and clean, especially with the R6 Mark II. If you're wondering who the camera person is today, it is my beautiful, lovely wife who does not want to be on the camera, but she is obviously behind the camera. But to give you an idea, we're gonna have her stop for a second, and right into the sun, this is what it looks like. She did not expect that. Here, let's do a full body shot of my wife here. And then I'm gonna make my wife walk this way. So here's a little street shot of 70 millimeters. We'll go to 135. And then if I want to get really close, the 200. And we'll focus it right on the Meyer sign right there. And you know, you walk down these streets right here, and it's kind of nice to just see what that looks like, especially with the vertical. And again, street shot. We're both wondering why I chose the coldest day of the year so far. It is in the teens, and it's not even December yet. It is so cold. So let's get a few shots here. And I have found that 5.6 is pretty good when you want sharpness, but the f4 is nice just for a more blurred out background. I can't even talk, my face is freezing up. But we're gonna head in the car, head over to the other side and get some few more shots there. So let's go over there. All right, and if you're curious what lens is on there right now, it is the 14-35 f4. It is super light, works well with the Canon R7, which is the camera of choice when I do a lot of my videos. And yeah, so anyways, there's a lot of sun right here. We're gonna switch over to the hood. The lens cap can go in this hood pretty easily. With better people than myself. And I could take this off and the lens hood is still on. So it is nice for that convenience factor. And again, this bag is awesome. I highly recommend a bag like this. I We'll leave the link below for this bag. It's just convenient for walking around. So we're gonna shoot into the sun a little bit here and see what these shots look like. So these shots won't be the most beautiful shots, but this will give you an idea at 70 millimeters, moving to 135 millimeters, and then to 200 millimeters right there, focusing on that building. Also, we've got right through the trees here, it used to be called Titletown Brewery. What is it called now?
The Depot.
It's called the Depot. So the Depot has excellent food too. And then over here is Copper State Brewing Company, which is an amazing company. Obviously, Wisconsin is known for its alcoholics with brewing companies. So let's get a shot here. I am looking at Titletown Brewing, hence the Depot now. So right through these trees, F4, let's go to 135 millimeters, 200 millimeters, right there. And again, my beautiful wife there. And this is at 5.6. Now we're at 100, 135, 200. Again, this is 5.6. A lot of the times people will shoot at 5.6 when they're zoomed in at 135 to about 200, because if you have a 2.8 or even the F4, you're losing focus on both the eyes. With 5.6, both the eyes should be in focus, more of the face should be in focus, the compression looks good. I do love the look between 135 and 200, and obviously the 5.6 is gonna get sharper, especially if you have more than one person in the video, or the photo in this case. They're mostly gonna be on the same plane and both be in focus. So I think that might be all she wrote, because we're both freezing out here. So we're gonna go back into the studio. I'm gonna talk about the photos. This lens that I've been absolutely loving for the last 6-7 months, and I would highly recommend. Super light, looks big with this hood, but once you take this hood off, it just looks like a regular walking around lens. It is just pretty good, except for the fact that it's white, but in winter here, I guess it doesn't matter. It just blends in. All right, let's head in. Besides the optical quality of this lens, I have to tell you, it is pretty ergonomically amazing. This thing is super light. It is not as light as my 14-35, but it is lighter than my 24-70. This thing is an easy walk around. Plus, it is actually relatively short, except when you do this. This lens fits in my bag easily, and honestly, I have it in my bag all the time. All my other big lenses, I just leave in my office on my table, and then when I'm ready to use it, I grab them. This one I have in a pouch that is just always there, because 70-200 is an awesome and sometimes a unique perspective. And at this point in my life, I do not miss 2.8, because I was stopping down anyways. And with the Tamron 2.8, that thing weighs a ton. Optically amazing for that G2. I do highly recommend it if you need 2.8. But if you don't, I would say this F4 is as sharp, if not sharper. You also have a 77mm filter thread here, which is a very common filter thread. It's less expensive than the 82mm that you would see on the 24-70 or the 15-35 2.8, or I believe that the 70-200 2.8 is also 82mm. Having this lens has ultimately gotten rid of any kind of portraiture lens that I have used. This thing, going from 70-200, gets an amazing portraiture look at that 100-200. And I really am loving the 135mm look. I didn't even have the lens hood on, and the light just worked perfect when I was straight on, and my wife was backlit. It worked out perfect. This has been an amazing portraiture lens at the same time. And you stop down to 5.6 and you're getting some good group photos. Do you know what's even more impressive than this lens? The fact that my wife actually came out and did some video and then was a good sport when I turned the camera around on her and did some photos of her. I had to. I couldn't resist. I think my wife would be more prone to doing these videos if she knew that people wanted to see her in these videos. So if you do, just hit that like button, make a comment saying, Jared, your wife, she's hotter than you. And I would say, yeah, I know. She was legally blind when I found her. Married her, had some kids, and then I paid for LASIK. But now it's too late. She's stuck with me. Also, I'm so close to 8,000 subs. So hopefully I can get there by the end of this year, which is just like a month away. So help support the channel by just hitting that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and don't forget these videos too, because they are lonely. They need people to watch them. And if you've already watched them, just watch them again. You'll probably get something new out of it.